welcome to yet another brand new episode of the Minigames podcast. This is episode 28. I am your host, Mike. I am back in the hosting duties because I am the only one that can be trusted to kick off an episode properly. Also here is diet host Keith.
Like I said, give another 27 episodes. I'll be ready.
I firmly believe that is not true. It was all my fault for thinking that you were capable of handling such a large responsibility, and now here we are. We're another episode in, and I have lived the past week with endless regret for letting you intro that episode.
26 more till we do it again. Let's go.
All right. Hi. We're here. We're here to talk some video games. This might admittedly be a shorter episode than usual, which is probably isn't too bad. Last week was long as hell. But also, it's just been an incredibly slow week in general for like video games, I think. While the actual like real world is like on fire, there's bad things happening in places. Video games is nothing's happening.
I guess that's good when you put it that way.
Yeah, you know what? I guess in the grand scheme of things, I guess it's pretty all right that it's that video games are boring because everything else just straight up sucks.
Yeah, essentially. So, hey, that's how we're starting this episode. It's going on a good note bleak. Now. At least I didn't do it this time.
Yeah, at least it was me this time, but at least I began the episode properly. So you know what? We PEMDAS each other out right now, I think.
Cool. I mean, which part of the equation are we like? Are we like the P, or the MDA, or the Oz?
I would like to think of myself as the M because, you know, that's the first letter of like my first name. So I think I'm automatically the M at that point.
All right, then I'll be the D.
For don't intro an episode again? Got it.
Yeah, exactly. First letter of my name.
Okay, yep, there it is. So yeah, again, I'm your host, Mike. This is your diet host, Deeth. We're excited to be here.
Yeah, we are.
You're Deeth now.
Fuck it.
But Keith, what have you been playing lately?
Oh boy, do I have a story for you. So,
I'm afraid.
I'll start this off. Oh, always. So I'll start this off by saying the same situation as last week. It sounds like it's getting old by now. I haven't yet played anything new because I thought I was building my PC yesterday, and there was there was building happening. I don't think I've told you anything about this even off camera.
Yeah, no, this is all news to me. So you can't see me right now, obviously, but I'm leaning on my desk. And I'm just like, you know, I'm ready to hear what you have to tell me.
All right, we're doing this live. Okay. So I go to a friend's house for the first time in a whole quarantine to build this thing. And we get there, we're ready to go. And he tells me, hey, buy me some cigarettes real quick. I was like, okay, cool. I was going to buy Grandies. Do you want that instead? Yeah, sure. So I go to a corner store and buy cigarettes for like the third time in my life. And I'm pretty sure the lady picked up on that because she was like, are these for you? I was like, yeah, of course they are. And I guess he's of age, but she don't know that. So she was skeptical, but she's cool. She let it slide, you know, homie economics. I think we're cool now. So we get there. And he says, like, is this everything? He's like, I feel like there should be more boxes. I'm like, no, this is all that was at my mom's. And well, there was the right amount of boxes, but I got from Newegg my SSD and my RAM together in one. And it was kind of like in, you know, those like big envelopes, like t-shirts come in and things like that.
Oh.
Well.
Oh no.
It wasn't opened from like the part that folds over and the adhesive. The bottom lining of it that should be like just like factory sealed was open already. I was like, what? And then I look in there and there's the SSD. So I'm thinking, okay, cool, it's in there. Not realizing, because I ordered different things from different places, that it shipped with the RAM, which was not in there. So we're kind of looking into it. We got the processor on the motherboard. I got hands like a surgeon, goes in smooth. We strapped the motherboard in the case, and then all of a sudden, when it came time for RAM, there was no RAM. The RAM never came. So I was like, all right, let's go outside. So we go outside, see if it fell out of the thing. I call my mom like maybe like 12:30. I was like, Mom, did something fall out? She moves a couch around. She's like, no, nothing. Oh dear. I was like, all right, I'll file a claim. And file a claim, they say they'll get back to me in a couple days, whatever. But then he tells me, he's like, hey, so have you looked into the new NVIDIA cards? Well, I heard about them, but I haven't looked into any of it. He's like, dude, you might want to return yours or something. Why? I just got it. He's like, no, trust me. So he has a 2080 Ti, which we know once was the monster in the NVIDIA world, you know? He tells me, he's like, so the 3070 costs as much as your 2070 Super, and it stacks up with my 2080 Ti. My graphics card just dropped in value by half. I'm like, holy shit, so it's the same price? He's like, yeah, exact same price as yours. He's like, it comes out next month. You might just want to wait and have something that will keep you like occupied for longer. So then I started watching, you ever see Linus Tech Tips on YouTube or no?
No idea what that is.
So essentially, it's a dude who basically would have been on Tech TV if that was still around. That's all he talks about, just tech, gaming, general tech, VR, NASA, like just general tech stuff. He makes a video saying that like NVIDIA just made everything else obsolete, and they put up like the chart that shows how like this new 3000 series stacks up, and holy shit, like for the price and what it is, insane. So it came down to thinking, okay, I don't have the RAM, so I can't play this thing now. It might take like a week or so, which means I'd be about a week out from new graphics cards dropping. I might as well just wait.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, my thing is with that is I don't think anything's going to be taking advantage of those new cards yet. And I mean, the one that really like out of the two of us, like the one that benefits from the upgrade more is you for sure. Right. I think with the 2080, what I'm getting is a 2080 Super. I think I'll be set for a while still.
Yeah, I think so. This is definitely future-proofing the cards.
Yeah, we were going to talk. This is part of the news. We might as well just talk the NVIDIA shit now.
You want to drop it in and kind of move it up?
Yeah, sure. Fuck it. We'll just talk about it now.
Yeah, because this is part of my building experience. Because first time build, and this happened, which apparently couldn't have come at a better time.
Yeah, I think my thing with the NVIDIA, the new release, like, yeah, those cards are cool. I'm sure they're very powerful. They're fucking huge.
They are. Holy shit. I actually have the specs up right now. And they're insane. The 3070, so I guess their new starting point, $500, which is insane. Like what it can do for that price. That one's not too bad. That's about 9.5 inches and about 4 and maybe a little less than half thick. Big, but not massive. You move up over to the 3080, and I guess I should have had these specs ready, but it's about 11 inches, I think. So I have a mid-sized case. It still fits. But the 3090, that thing's like 12.3 inches. It's like a forearm, basically.
Yeah, and what sucks about that is a lot of people that I've seen building PCs have been going for like smaller frame cases. And this is just straight up not going to fit in any of those. I feel really bad for people that like have made builds recently that are basically going to have to like cases, granted, like aren't the most expensive thing in the world.
Yeah,
but it just sucks to get your build. Yeah, and it sucks to get like your build exactly how you wanted it. Like you planned like everything for your PC around like the shell that you have to fit it in. And it's just like, oh, well, I want these new graphics cards, but then I have to reevaluate everything because I have this big fucking honker to...
Yeah, which means you gotta
fucking
take everything off the motherboard and re-put it all again. It becomes more of a pain in the ass than anything else.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is definitely a lot cooler for people. Yeah, worth it, but it's definitely a lot cooler for people, I think, that are like yourself, that are mid-build or have not begun their build yet.
Right. And what's crazy is that, like, I figured I had to wait, so I decided, okay, I'm gonna do this anyway. And I can either... So I went to Best Buy and refunded the 2070 Super today. So yeah, there you go. If you're on bestbuy.com, there's one more. And he was telling me that, like, it's probably gonna crash like the market, because this is the most that they've ever done for the best price since like 2006. And there's a couple factors that like we talked it over. I'm thinking there's two parts to this, maybe 2.5. One, AMD obviously is competition, so they need to do competitive pricing now. Two, consoles. I mean, they're boasting the powers of the Series X. Not only that, but now you got Game Pass coming to PC. So I'm thinking really it's just part of, okay, you got a generation coming up. You really got to make a big leap ahead to show that, yeah, PC is the optimal way to play if you want the most out of your games. More than in a non-generational year.
Yeah. I mean, I like new tech coming out a lot. I like seeing the new graphics cards and shit coming out. Like this is like, yeah, it's really cool. It's good for the economy of PC building, because yeah, it means
it's like a $500 to even $1,000 more accessible now.
Yeah, and like you said, AMD is gonna have to step their shit up pretty dramatically to like even compete with this.
Yeah.
So it's good for everybody. And honestly, probably the best part of this is that because these new cards are coming out, the people that want to build but understand that, like, even because like I'm gonna be real with you, I'm not the person that really gives a shit about like that intense horsepower. Like what game is gonna fucking take advantage of that right now? You know, it's gonna be a while until like look how long it took for like games to be like, oh yeah, ray tracing. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, like I said, I think the card's future proofing. I mean, it's got a 12-pin power slot, which doesn't even exist yet, as far as for the power supply. But when we were kind of picking out the parts for this build, like I said, I got a 1050 like watt power supply, so I have the leeway to do this now and just kind of be good, you know, and not have to worry about it. And the price is really what did it for me. What I really feel bad for is, like, say those that got like a 2080 just because it was the top one, and then wanting to stay ahead of current tech.
Yeah. And
then dropping the money and then seeing this one for like a third of the cost do the same amount of work. That's the part where I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. I mean, yeah, like there's gonna be a lot of that.
It sucks for them. Yeah, for sure. That's how it is with technology in general, though. Once you buy like the most current thing, they've already shit out the next fucking current thing. It's like your technology is obsolete before you even like get it. You know what I mean? Like that's just how technology is.
Yeah, and I think this kind of just happened at a way higher rate than I guess a lot of people thought, because this is a huge gap.
Yeah,
and an affordable really one. Cool that's thing. What's crazy.
Yeah, like the fact that it's like priced the way it is really good, because I remember when like even before like graphics cards are being used for Bitcoin mining and things like that, when you saw like the prices of like the Titan cards, like they were just like fucking like they cost more than like the actual average computer build itself costs, like
right.
So it was like insane. But now just seeing these prices, it's like, oh, that's really cool. Again, like the one issue I have is you have to find like a case to put that motherfucker in.
Yeah,
like,
especially if you go with the 3090. The 3080, I have like a mid-size case. You'll be good with that. I think the 3090 would be pushing it, because you have to move one of your side fans for sure. And they have a lot of cool little engineering between the fans on these, but it'd have to be a big ass case for the 3090. But price wise on that one, for the 3090 is the same price as the 2080 Super was. That's what blows my mind.
Yeah, that's fucking wild. I just can't wait to see like how games take advantage of it in like the next however many fucking years
Right,
it takes
and
for games to get to that point.
Yeah, and I think the closest thing that might push it right now would be probably Cyberpunk, maybe.
Not even,
Yeah, and that's the closest.
because Cyberpunk still has to run on current gen consoles. So no.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be some bottlenecking. I'm kind of fortunate enough to where I guess we planned it out just enough to where it left me this room to be able to do this.
Yeah.
Because I think we're putting an i9, so the combination of that plus the i9, it would have to be about like a 700 800 watt, and I lucked into that where I'm covered. Otherwise I would have just stuck with what I had, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I went with a 750 watt for everything that I'm doing, and it was like just fine. So
Yeah. Maybe later on down the line if you wanted to get these, but I think, like I said, you don't really need this much power and this much out of it yet.
yeah, definitely not. But it'll be cool to see where this takes graphics in general and shit. It'll be really cool. I'm excited to see it. It's just crazy seeing like, oh, 8K, like sure,
Yeah,
it doesn't exist yet.
At 60 frames. At 60 frames. And oh, did you see they brought Adam Sessler in to show it off, and like nonchalantly too?
I didn't see that, but nothing but respect for my president.
Yeah, like at the very end of like their broadcast, they said like we brought in 4 streamers to experience this and see their real-time reactions. And one of them was just Adam Sessler, no name introduction, no nothing, just sat there and played the game. And like you get to see him like just blown away with like the detail and the fluidity and all of that. But I guess just kind of cap off this old GeForce part. Prices, the 3070 starting at $499 does literally the exact same, if not even just a notch better than the 2080 Ti for a third of the price at $499. Insane. That's available October, so we don't know the exact date on that yet. I was planning on going with that one, but because I'm antsy and because it's so much for so good price, I'm gonna go with a 3080. That's starting at $699. That's dropping on September 17th. On Nvidia's website, you can put notify me, and they'll kind of just give you the update of when I guess pre-orders or when they're gonna start hitting shelves. I don't know exactly the full details on that yet, but that's coming soon. So that's where I'm going with that one. I'm making the price jump, but for a huge, almost double output jump than I would have gotten with my 2070.
Oh, for sure. The one thing with that though is you're gonna have to be fucking quick, because I feel like those cards are gonna fucking go.
Yeah, I think so too. For the price, I don't see how like people are gonna be jumping on these because it's insane. Hopefully, because the Founders Edition, I mean, it's the same price. It's still $1,500, but you're getting a shit ton for that. So there's gonna be people that are gonna spring for that rather than 3080. I'm hoping that kind of opens the door for me a little bit more. And that's coming.
Yeah, people are gonna want to get the big dick boy, so maybe that makes it a little bit easier for you.
Yeah, and that's only coming a week later, on the September 24th. So it blows my mind that like I looked into this.
I mean, you picked a real good time to do it, considering you haven't finished your build yet.
Right, and part of it was thanks to the RAM not showing up realistically, because I was trying to think. I was like, okay, I could open up the 2070, play it, maybe sell it used, and then just kind of put it towards the new one. And then the RAM didn't show up, and I thought, well, shit, I can't even use a 2070. Oh, well, I guess I'm making the choice now.
Yeah, for real. Hopefully they find that RAM somewhere, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, they're probably just going to send a new one.
Probably.
So that's pretty cool. I mean, I'm looking at a chart right now. The 3080, it's pretty much almost double the 2080, which is a huge jump from generation to generation. Well, so yeah, I haven't played anything because I thought I was building today. It's gonna be a little bit longer, so that'll change. I'll play something in this meantime between the two. Probably something quick, just so I can kind of grind it out real fast.
Battletoads.
Do you think this laptop can handle it?
I think any computer could handle Battletoads, if I'm being honest with you.
All right. Oh, I'll try it out.
I've never heard someone so disappointed about anything before.
Look, because I didn't say nah, and I'm like locked in on it.
Oh yeah, well, thank you for that PC update. You're gonna have to let me know how that 3080 works for you. It sounds very nice. I will be a pleb with my 2080 Super still.
Ooh, oh, how the turntables.
I mean, yeah, but you're basically running on everything on a toaster right now, so you need this more than anybody.
Yeah, this has been a long time coming. Well, have you played more Ring Fit?
Yeah, I've been fucking around with that a little bit more. It's still fun. I'm still fat, it turns out, but you know,
Gotcha.
We're working on it. We're getting there. It's real good still. It's a good game. I don't like. I know there's a plot and shit to it. I'm definitely not paying attention to it in the slightest. But you know, it's there for the people that care. Definitely not me. I don't care about the fucking workout game plot, even though maybe I should for podcast purposes, but I don't. So,
all right, when this is done, I want a 1,000-word essay on the motivations of the main antagonist.
Absolutely not.
Come on, you're an English major.
Yeah, and I'm no longer taking English classes because I'm done with my major, so fuck off. I don't want to write shit anymore.
For the pod.
No. Bro, I don't even like fucking typing into a Google Doc for this thing. You think I want to write you a fucking paper?
Is that why I do most of it?
Yes, I'm just like, I'll add things to it. I've had several years of writing professional papers for me to just, I can't manage a Google Doc. You're going to get a critical analysis from me instead.
You know, I think out of like 15 somewhat episodes that we started doing docs for, you probably would have like one complete one.
Yeah, that sounds about
content
right.
wise.
Yeah.
We split the load here on the Minigames pod.
Yeah. Keith writes the doc, I edit the podcast.
And now I do the video.
And now I'm gonna have to think of something else to do. I make
a
I make the funny
1,000-page essay on Ring Fit. There it is.
I make the funny Instagram posts.
Yeah, that's true. You do the graphics. Hey, yeah, that's it. There we go. We're split.
I do the hashtag art for the pod.
So the day that you write a 1,000-page essay on the motivation of the main antagonist of Ring Fit will be the day I pick up another job here on the Minigames pod.
Fucking buff dragon.
It's a unitard.
It is buff dragon and a unitard. I do like how I just randomly sprung that picture on you the other day though, and you seemed very overjoyed by it.
Yeah, Buff the Magic Dragon.
Yeah, dude, I wish that was his name. That's so good.
Missed opportunity, Ring Fit. Missed opportunity.
It's probably copyright. Who cares? It's Nintendo. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, parody laws.
I've been playing some other things besides Ring Fit too. I actually have not been playing World of Warcraft because they announced the release date for Shadowlands. So now I'm just in that
period.
period.
Well, announcement, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I was just like, well, now I just don't care for 2 months because it comes out at the end of October. So I'm just like, well, guess I'm just gonna keep paying the subscription but not touch it again until October.
Here's your break.
Here's my break. What I have been playing though, so I bought 2 games. The benefit of having an adult job. I bought 2 games over the past week. The first one I've been playing is Surgeon Simulator 2.
Hell yeah.
And that's a hell of a lot of fun.
More than Battletoads?
Bro, clipping my toenails is more fun than fucking Battletoads.
Dude, I had an ingrown toenail the other week, so that's how bad Battletoads is. Holy shit.
Yeah, I would take an ingrown toenail over Battletoads any day of the week.
Oh god.
That's what you're in for. Yeah, that's what I signed you up for.
Is that going to be a segment of next week's? Like how was your Battletoads experience? It was like my building experience.
You're just be like, I'm in therapy now.
I'm a Battletoad.
I am either Rash, Pimple, or Zitz, one of the 3 interchangeable Battletoads.
Definitely Zitz.
So yeah, Surgeon Simulator 2. They changed it up a lot from the first one. So did you ever play Surgeon Simulator at all?
I did not.
So the way that one worked is like it was one of those like QWERTY, like co-op style games. It's like, oh, you did surgeries on people, but like each individual, like there were like individual keys that controlled individual fingers of your hand. So it was just one of those like it was one of those like the whole bit of the game was that it was fucking the controls were shit. So they change it up a bit for the second one. You don't control individual fingers anymore. Like you just have a catch-all grab button. But now they made it so you can move around. Like you have like an actual avatar that you can customize with like costume pieces and stuff that you get for getting high enough like rank, like getting of stars or the star equivalent, whatever it is in levels. So that's really cool. Like having like your own actual like avatar, and then the fact that you can move around, it's gone from just like this like quirky like, oh, here's this dumb game. It's kind of like Portal. Especially now, like they added a campaign mode. There's a story and stuff like that.
There's a story, like, you say? Yeah,
it's like it's this weird like secret conspiracy shit. Like they went full Portal with this one almost. It seems like the bodiless voice that is speaking to you through the intercom is like this game's like GLaDOS. But it works. I think they even make like fucking Half-Life jokes in it. So I'm just like, oh, I see where they're going with this.
Yeah.
Like they're definitely making it like very like tongue-in-cheek, but I think it works really, really well. Unlike how Battletoads tries to just like make this like, haha, we're a funny cartoon, edgy, but this is just like,
how do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah, that's how Battletoads comes across, is how do you do, fellow kids. This one, like Surgeon Simulator 2 does the story very well. Granted, it's very like the story is like kind of stupid. Like I don't care about it. It's obviously about like the surgical procedures and everything. But it's just like the way things handle too, like it doesn't play the way you would want like a good game to play, you know what I mean? Like it's still like you have to move the mouse up and down to like move your stiff hand to use this fucking hammer to break ribs and shit. It makes for a real good time. It's because it's super fucking funny.
Good streaming game.
Yeah, definitely a very good streaming game. So yeah, Surgeon Simulator 2 is something I recommend. It's on, I think it's Epic exclusive right now, but it was only $25, so not like the most expensive game in the world. And so far, like there's only 11 levels to the campaign, which is, you know, kind of short. You can kind of breeze through that. I'm like almost done with it. But what's cool is that what they didn't have, or at least as far as I know that they didn't have this in OG Surgeon Simulator, is now that you can create your own levels.
Oh, that's cool. Kind of.
So they basically opened up infinite content for Surgeon Simulator 2, and right now they're even doing a contest in game where the best levels, they just give you a fucking $1,000.
Oh shit! So
yeah,
are you building a level, getting a return on your $25 investment?
Oh no, because I am the least creative person in the world, and I will just make some dumb bullshit. Like when I had the at-home version of DDR, like you can make your own DDR stages.
Yeah.
And I made it like literally to like human legs don't move the way that I made those fucking levels. So it's just like, yeah, no.
I respect it.
I will not be making any Surgeon Simulator levels, but you know, I appreciate your belief in me.
Look, dude, if I could create the most hideous Dark Souls character and name him Harry Balzania, you can do this.
I had like repressed that memory, I think, and now I think you just unlocked something within me, and I'm in the worst mood than I was when I was talking about Battletoads earlier.
All right, I did that. We'll continue.
You did. Hope you're proud of yourself.
Always.
So another game that I've been playing though is Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered.
That's the one I was waiting for.
So this is a game that, as far as I understand, does not have couch co-op, and they fucked up the online.
Oh, did they?
They fucked up the online.
How did they just do like just Nintendo Online like phone nonsense or what?
No, it's so weird because I'm imagining it's so. For full disclosure, I have this game on Switch. It's also available on the PlayStation Store, but I'm assuming this is just like a fundamental framework issue with Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, the way that it works. So the way that it works is, did you play Crystal Chronicles at all?
Very little.
So you know how the whole point of the game was like, oh, you beat the level, then you get the droplet of crystal juice at the end of it, right? And then you do that several times until you have a full crystal canteen, and then that's the end of like a year of game time.
Yeah.
So the way it works is if you join a multiplayer, like let's say you join my game. Let's say you join at the very beginning of the game with me. You know, like we're like, oh, we're going to play this together. Only I get the droplet progress at the end of the dungeons. So if we literally went through the entire game, it's as if you didn't do jack shit.
That sucks.
Yeah. The one thing is, if you join, you are able to keep any drops that you get. Like you keep items, and then you keep artifacts, which are like the little like stat boosts that you get in that. So you don't like completely lose everything, but you don't gain any story progression. Another thing is, if you want to run more than one dungeon, you have to disband after each run unless you want to keep running the same one.
So you basically have to like just keep going in and out, back and forth, and
yeah, like you have to
do it for each person.
Yes, correct. So and let's say there's a day where I happen to just play a little bit more than you, and I progress further. And if you wanted to join my game, you have to get to that same exact area as me before you can join.
Oh shit! So like, damn, they really mess it up because it encourages you to play it together, but then punishes you for playing together.
Yes. They encourage you to play it together, but makes playing together the most cumbersome fucking thing in the entire world.
Yeah, cause you got nothing to show for it.
Yeah, and like, so another thing is that like this game plays like shit, but I kind of remember that it did. Like, I don't really have like, I have like fond memories of Crystal Chronicles, but I'm not like full rosy tinted glasses about it. Like, oh yeah, I remember now. This game plays like trash.
Right.
But I think that like I'm pretty disappointed in it. Like the whole Crystal Chronicles whole bit is like not playing by yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
the whole bit is that you have multiple people playing with you. That was the point.
Yeah, it like came out at like the same time as like Four Swords and things like that, where it was literally meant for couch co-op.
Yeah, you had to buy fucking 13 Game Boys, 8,000 cables just so you could play with your friends. And like the multiplayer thing wouldn't bother me as much as it does if there was couch co-op.
Yeah, I would say even if there was no couch co-op, I get it because it's a different time. But if they didn't make it so backwards and it's online, that would make sense. Like,
yeah, I mean, if you're gonna make this game that's known for like that's a multiplayer game, like if you're not gonna have couch co-op, then your online better be fucking phenomenal, you know?
Yeah, and it blows my mind that it's not, because think of it as you're punishing someone for doing the only thing that they're allowed to do. So if you don't want them to get far ahead, then give them the same loot, prize, everything when they are playing together.
Yeah, and like this, I'm definitely like, I don't think this game is bad by any means, because I'm still having a lot of fucking fun with it. But there's been like this feeling in this thought in the back of my head where I've just been like, man, this would be really fucking cool if I was playing it with someone else right now. Yeah,
and like, say for instance, like if you're already in on it, I can't jump in with you right away, or like you'd have to go back.
Yeah, like I'm a good way through that, a good ways through that game right now. And if you wanted to jump in and play with me, I would have to stop playing the game for an extended period of time just for you to catch up so I could play again and we could play together, which fucking sucks.
Yeah. Oh, man. I don't like it.
Yeah, the one good thing about it, I will say though, is they very wisely made this a non-full price game. It's only $30, so that's very good. But still, it's just when your game has 1 bit and you fuck up that 1 bit, it sucks.
Yeah, because that was like you said, that was like the gimmick. That was
that was literally the whole point of that. Like that was why they're like, yo, we want you to plug your fucking Game Boy into your GameCube and play with your friends. And then it's like, cool, now I just can't play with anybody, because if I do, I have to wait for someone to catch up or run the same dungeon 1,000 times just to progress, because if you don't progress, like if I progress, you don't, like it's so shitty.
Yeah, that's a bummer. I mean, it's cool that like the game is still the same game, so it's as good as it was, it's as bad as it was. They just didn't stick the landing with the main purpose of it.
Yeah, hopefully some shit gets patched in the future, because at least that's one benefit to like not being the GameCube era, is that like
right.
The game's not just like out forever, like they can still fix shit. But I know that like they had initially delayed the game, so I would have hoped that issues like this would have gotten fixed. And I think if I had known that these issues were prevalent, I would have been okay with waiting a little bit longer for this game to come out.
Like a winter release.
Yeah, like straight up, if they were just like, yo, our multiplayer is fucked right now, we can't put this game out, I'll be like, well, multiplayer is the whole thing about that game, so definitely take your time and like put it out when it's like ready. And yeah, I hate that it seems so fucking unfinished.
I can see that. That is a bit of a bummer, but at least the core game is still there.
Yes, the core gameplay is still there. It's still fun. I just wish there was an easier way to enjoy this with friends. Like, it's to the point now that like, since I'm so far through the game, I can't even be like, oh yeah, Keith, pick up Crystal Chronicles, let's play together. Because then it's like, well, then I can't play my fucking game that I paid money for.
Yeah, it's basically better for you to beat it, and then I get the game, and then we play.
It's basically better for me to beat the game and say, hey, I'm gonna make a whole new ass character. Let's do this.
Yeah.
But then I have to run the same dungeon fucking 5 times just for you to catch up. You know what I mean? So it's like,
still not even.
Yeah, there's no ideal scenario to this, and it fucking hurts my soul that this is how it happened.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
But yeah, that's basically all I've been playing between Surgeon Simulator 2 and Crystal Chronicles. I really haven't had much time to like play anything else. And again, like playing on PC, it's just like I'm just waiting for my rig to come in. So it's just like I just want to play other shit, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, is Cyberpunk like the next like big release? I think it is, right?
I think like in terms of like big releases, I think Cyberpunk is the next one.
So until that comes out, we're kind of treading water a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, like once I get that rig, I'm just gonna like definitely just install a bunch of games and just crank the settings up to fucking stupid levels. So that'll be fun.
I do want to get back into Grounded a little bit, because I heard they updated and put in a bird.
Oh no.
Exactly. So there's a curveball, and they did a lot of like kind of texture patches and things like that. So apparently it looks like a better game, like visually, and you can kind of see the direction that they're heading in for it. And on Reddit, I've seen some people's builds, and it's insane the castles that they build. I saw somebody they made a sign that sticks up above the grass line that says "Unshrink us" and pointed it toward the house.
The fuck.
So things like that. That's kind of why I want to stick with this game for a while. So maybe I'll get into that before this computer comes in. I got like another 2 weeks now at this point. So we'll see how it plays out. I guess for sure Battletoads is happening. So come back next week. But listen to the rest of this one first.
Yeah, definitely. I love the fact that like I hope when you finally get this new computer in with your fucking high-end graphics card, the first thing you do on it is install and play Battletoads.
After already playing it on this one.
Yeah, just really push the limits of your computer.
With Battletoads.
Yeah, with probably one of the worst games I've played in recent memory.
Oh man. All right. That's what's happening. I don't like it, but that's what's happening. And I wanted to get this thing. I wanted to get this thing before Tony Hawk came out, and that's not happening. So that's kind of a bit of a bummer. But I guess there's Battletoads, right?
Oh fuck, that comes out like this week, doesn't it?
Yeah, on Friday.
Oh fuck, the shitty Avengers game comes out this week too.
Yeah, on launch day for this episode.
Damn.
Well, one of us will talk about one of those next week.
I'm definitely not fucking talking about Avengers if I don't fucking have to, dude. That shit made me upset.
We already talked about it enough. I'll keep a tab on that one and see when I want to jump in on it.
Also, turns out, you know how I was like having frame rate issues and I said it was chugging?
Yeah.
Apparently, it was just like that. Like, it wasn't even like a graphics card issue. Like, apparently, it just ran like trash.
Oh, great. Well, from what I saw, it was the most downloaded beta in PlayStation history. So, hopefully, they got that ironed out. I mean, they got a lot of feedback, it sounds like.
If this had come out not a week before the game was supposed to launch, then I could definitely see them ironing some stuff out. But, man, talk about down to the fucking wire to, like, rebuild your game, basically.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully they have a big team at Square to do it.
Yeah, there's going to be, like, a fucking 50 gig day one patch to be like, hey, we're sorry.
Oh, man. And you know what sucks? Like, it's Square. They've done great things, but they're probably grinding the hell out of those developers right now.
Oh, I'm sure it's a miserable experience over there.
Yeah. Do your best, guys. Do your best. That's all I got.
My heart goes out to you.
Oh boy. All right. So, are we done with what we've been playing? Are we rolling on?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't been playing anything else. I mean, do mobile games count? I've been playing Flow every day. I'm at a 1,655 day streak of Flow. That's the last thing I got.
I want to say I'm probably at something like that for Minesweeper, to be honest. So yeah, I counts.
Lost your streak though. You don't play every day, do you?
At least one.
Oh,
it doesn't keep track of streak though. It just keeps track of the amount of games you play.
Work.
Although right now I open it up and it threw me an ad for the Whata store for Whataburger, so that's pretty cool.
Damn, I just realized I haven't fucking eaten dinner, so I think I'm doing after this.
Yep, quick episode. We said it. Now we got to be in existence.
It's like, and that's the end of episode 28 of the Minigames podcast. I'm gonna go get food. Goodbye.
Later.
Cue the music.
Oh yeah. No, we still got more to go through. You can wait.
Fuck.
So sales this week.
Yeah, there's like none.
Yeah, no, this week is rough. Like news, sales, like we're treading water here at the Minigames pod right now.
I'm pretty sure we were like 20 minutes away from just being like, so no episode this week, or
kinda. I considered it, but I guess I churned up just enough to make it work. And then you came up with the main topic, so yeah, just a collaborative effort here. But I guess I'll start off with really the only one that I found that's kind of worth it. There was a few other, I'll put it this way. When I was looking for sales, I started going to like Walmart.com, Target.com, Best Buy, like
dark.
To really kind of find something. And there was a few like daily deals, but they're done by the time obviously this comes out, and that's it. So the only one I found that was worth it is one that we already mentioned before, but The Witcher 3 Game of the Year Edition, $14.99, 70% off. Normally it's $49.99. Includes all additional DLC. You're probably getting like 110 hours of game doing that.
Has any game been on sale longer than The Witcher 2? With The Witcher 3, I feel like that's been the longest on sale game of all time.
I feel like it's been on sale in like coding language, like all the ones is the time it's on sale, and it goes to 0, which is not, and then it goes back to 1 and just bounces back and forth.
I mean, I think this might be one of the cheapest I've seen it too. Like $15 for Witcher 3, fucking hell yeah, do that shit.
Yeah, and I think I saw it on consoles at a very similar price too. So whatever you're playing it on, yeah, there you go. That's going on until Monday the 7th.
A good game for you to take advantage of your new rig. Witcher 3.
Yeah, that's made for this rig, essentially.
So maybe you just buy Witcher 3 for $15 and then don't touch it until you get your computer.
I could do that, but also like right around the same time, I want to play Horizon, and they're both massive games. So
Have not heard good things about the PC port of Horizon.
I've heard they did some patching on it though that ironed out a lot of things.
Yeah, last I heard about it and saw of it is that it runs like shit.
Yeah, from what I heard, there's a lot of stuff that like it's serviceable, but that when you're looking for this game on PC, it's disappointing. But that they did kind of flatten out a lot of that. And in response, PlayStation says, yeah, they'd absolutely be looking to bring more titles over to PC. Did you end up seeing anything about that or no?
No, I didn't see anything about that. I mean, I guess it's true though. My graphics card does come with a copy of Death Stranding, so
yeah, and that's one. Also, Detroit is on PC now, so they're getting there. But the main thing is really, I think they just kind of want to say like, hey, Xbox, what are you doing? Okay, yeah, we need to do a little bit more of that because I think it might work for you all when it works. So let's do more of that.
Yeah, definitely do more of that. Just make sure your PC ports work properly
At launch, yeah.
Yeah, please.
But yeah, so Witcher 3, that's it. Everything else, speaking of PlayStation, they're also adding Resident Evil 7 on PlayStation Now. I guess in a move, they kind of negotiated something because it's coming to Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass now.
Is it already? Oh yeah, it's out basically now, like literally as we're talking, huh?
Yeah, as I opened up Game Pass before we got on to see what was on there. Yeah, Resident Evil 7 is right there.
And that's a really good get for a subscription service. So I think it was really just too good for PlayStation pass up on. And that and Final Fantasy 15, which is another, I guess, length of game. That's a good get for the value of a subscription service.
Sure.
That's really it. There's not much going on. Like it's a shitty sales week.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's really nothing going on. There's nothing like. I mean, I think we were spoiled like a few weeks ago, and it was just like, oh, everything's on fucking sale. But
yeah.
it's a weird time of year right now, so I'm not surprised there's not much.
Yeah, I mean, I would have thought maybe like with Gamescom there might be something, but no, not even any tie into that. So I think what's next? Tokyo Game Show?
Probably something like that.
Yeah, I gotta maybe. I mean, I should probably look into like convention lineup or like dates to kind of have that in line for the pod, but I also probably won't.
Yeah, we'll see what's going on with that.
Yeah, this year's different, obviously. But yeah, that's really it for sales. Go play The Witcher, I guess, and jump on your backlog on Game Pass or I guess PlayStation Now if you're Jesus and have that.
The one person that we know of that has PlayStation Now.
Also Stadia, so
what a character Jesus is. friend of the show.
Yeah, go listen to Good Night Gamescast.
Listen to Good Night's Gamescast. Let them know that we sent you. Tell them Stadia sucks.
And by them, tell Jesus. Moy is fine.
Yeah, Moy's cool. Jesus is a Stadia shill, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, we'll have to jump onto their pod and let him know.
Anywho, news?
There was, I guess. I mean, Gamescom really is kind of the news this, because that kind of popped up on Thursday, day after recording last week. So by now you probably heard a little bit of this. I kind of want to go over the main things that kind of stuck out to me in particular. And the reason why I'm kind of rolling into Gamescom is because last week I mentioned there's a rumor Nintendo Direct, and I said I don't want to dig in too much because nothing's been official, and yeah, there was none. So not much to talk about. Not much to talk about here. Good thing we don't really report too much on rumors here.
All right, look, I briefly mentioned earlier, but World of Warcraft Shadowlands, October 27th, just in time for Halloween.
Spooky.
Quitting my job.
The one who just started?
Yes.
The one that's how you're paying for this computer?
Exactly.
Yeah, do it.
Here for a good time, not a long time.
There it is. Yeah, that's the new big deal in World of Warcraft that you're going to be all over. And every episode starting with what have you played this week is going to be that for at least a good 6 months.
Yeah, you're gonna get the weekly WoW update from me for sure.
That's the new segment. We gotta have like a headline, like a sound drop for the weekly WoW update.
Just I'm gonna just play like a news music reel, and then it's just gonna be my weekly WoW update.
If this doesn't happen, I'm gonna be pissed.
Oh, it's gonna happen when a new WoW expansion comes out. That's all I want to fucking talk about.
All right, cool. So, yeah, WoW. That was the Gamescom announcement. Did you see the opening day kind of showcase that they did for this, or no?
No, I did not.
All throughout the whole thing, they were saying that they're like, we got Fall Guys Season 2 announcement coming up. Show like 3 or 4 games. We got Fall Guys Season 2. Don't go away. 3 or 4 games. All right, guys. The Fall Guys Season 2 coming up, and I'm thinking, holy shit, is this ever going to happen?
It's almost like Fall Guys is the most popular game in the world right now.
Yeah, and it's insane. But yeah, Gamescom was all over it. And here we go. Season 2. We're going to Middle Earth here.
All right, can we talk about... Well, now that we're on the subject of Fall Guys, can we talk about the big announcement they made today on Twitter, which I don't know if it's real or not, but I hope it's real.
Bring it.
They announced the coming of Big Yeetus.
So, was that on their Twitter account?
It was from the official Fall Guys Twitter account. I mean, I'm going to pull that up right now, but they definitely made that announcement today.
I'm on it right now. Okay. Hi, Norman Reedus. Would you consider doing the voice for the Big Yeetus?
It probably only says the word yeet, but it's basically the main character in our video game. It's mostly just a big hammer, but it's captured the hearts of the gaming community. Household name.
If Norman Reedus doesn't do this, I will be a little bit upset.
Let me see. Let me find the official posting, because this was worldwide trending for a hot minute. Oh, yes. Here it is. I've got a spicy leak for you all. We're working on a little something that we have been calling Big Yeetus. Big Yeetus will randomly appear in levels to shake things up. Big Yeetus is chaotic neutral. Big Yeetus is not your friend. Big Yeetus is not your enemy.
Big Yeetus is real.
Big Yeetus is very real, and I will both fear and respect him. Or her. You know what? Maybe non-binary. I will respect them.
I will respect the yeet.
Yeah, frosted mini yeets.
Oh, God.
Look, dude, I'm funny. All right.
I don't like it. Not one bit.
In other non-Big Yeetus news, I'll let you talk about this next one.
Okay, so 12 minutes. Have you seen that game or checked it out any at all, or not really? Or
I have just heard about it. I don't know what the fuck it is. I know a straight up nothing about it.
Okay, so it's been announced, I want to say, for probably about a year now. It might have been last year's E3. I think Microsoft made the announcement, if I'm not mistaken, because this is basically the kind of games that they announce. Essentially, it's like a time loop game where you're having a romantic dinner with, I guess, a wife, girlfriend. I'm not too sure the relationship there. But then all of a sudden, like, a detective breaks into the house, says, oh, she's arrested for murder, and knocks you out. And then you wake up again and you start it over, and you have 12 minutes to break the loop. And each time you got to do something a little bit different to figure out how to stop this thing from happening. Kind of a cool concept. I mean, the Groundhog Day thing, like, when done right, it's really cool.
Is this just that Tom Cruise movie?
Pretty much.
Is this just Edge of Tomorrow, but for gamers?
Essentially, for drama fans. But at Gamescom, they showed, like, I guess a cast announcement for it. And dude, this thing is starring James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, and William Dafoe.
Okay.
Like, that's a trinity right there.
All right, I'm gonna be real with you.
Go.
I will only give a shit about Willem Dafoe's performance if I hear Spider-Man.
If he does that, I will always refer to him as William DeFriend.
Have you seen that movie Antichrist that he's in?
Yes. One time, it was like a group setting, so at a party.
Oh,
so
weird.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
So you all got to experience Willem Dafoe's enormous wang.
Yeah. And the experiences that it goes through.
Yeah, dude. Willem's packing a big Dafoe down there, dude.
He is. And as soon as
Good
they
for
did
him.
yeah, I mean, they're good for him. I mean, but as soon as like I heard the voice in the trailer, I was like, no way. I was like, that's cool. And like it's cool to see stars at this level getting in on, video games. I mean, obviously like things like Nomaritas, Keanu, and on this kind of even, smaller level game, you still have big names coming in.
Yeah, well, Willem Dafoe, no stranger to video games, though. He wasn't Beyond Two Souls.
He was, but I mean, Daisy Ridley and James McAvoy.
Yeah, this is like big star power.
You have literally the only living Skywalker around in this game.
Yeah, when you think about it like this, you have the only living Skywalker, the Green Goblin, and Professor Xavier are all in the same video game.
Professor Xavier and the Beast, like, which is multiple characters at that.
Yeah, this seems like a time. I just hope, like, I always get worried when I see things that like have like a lot of star power behind them, because then I get worried that that's all it is. It's like we spent all of our money getting these big names in here, and now it's like, oh shit, we got to put a game here too.
Right.
Huh?
This one seems different because I mean it's a smaller game. It's not like it's relying on them. It's just voiceovers. It's not like Norma Reedus is the main character or things like that. So they got
also gotta get paid though.
Yeah, they do. But it's not reliant on their likeness. So they got to perform also. And it's really intriguing. Seems like I really like a lot of those like smaller, close-knit movies. And this seems like that kind of story with like the stakes aren't world-ending. It's your relationship and her life, way more close to home in game form. And I'm really excited for it. I don't think they announced a time where it'll come out. I think they just said like soon was like their word.
Honestly, anything getting announced without a release date in the COVID times is the best thing you could possibly do.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's going to come to Game Pass. It was a Microsoft announcement once upon a time. So I'm pretty sure it's getting developed for like Xbox One Series X, which probably means PC at this point.
Yeah, this seems cool though. I'm excited to see what this develops into. I like Willem Dafoe a lot, so
yeah, check out the trailer when you can. It's a really cool premise, and I think it'll work. It seems like it's got a lot of small things going for it, to where it's not overwhelming itself and just falls apart.
Hot fact: Willem Dafoe, by association, is in a Bleeding Through song.
Is he? Oh, was it like a voice clip?
He's the Boondock Saints intro.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe is metalcore.
I mean, who isn't anymore?
Listen, dude, with a lot of shit coming out about musicians lately, there are a lot of people that are
they're dropping
metalcore.
out of metalcore. You're right.
Shout out Issues, I guess.
No, shout out the band. They did the right thing.
What an appropriate band name when you think about it at this point now.
Yeah, at this point. But oh man, if you're interested in that, hit us up on the Twitter. We'll talk about Issues. We're here to talk about some games here.
I'm not. I'm here to talk about Bleeding Through.
All right, if you can get Bleeding Through to sign off on guesting in the pod, I will say yes.
Dude, if I could somehow finagle my way into getting Brandon Chapati on an episode of our stupid fucking podcast,
I want all
I would
of
be
them.
the happiest person in the fucking world.
I want all of them, and I want the synth playing background music for that episode.
Oh fuck!
Exactly.
All right, I'll send some emails tonight.
Cool. Contact their people and have them contact ours.
Me.
Exactly. You're a PR, basically.
Awful.
Yes, also true. But rolling on, I really want to see more Star Wars Squadrons, and they showed me more of Star Wars Squadrons, so I'm happy right now.
Bro, I will play the fuck out of that game.
Dude, and it's a $40 game. That's the coolest part. Like, they're really playing into this, saying like, all right, here's the experience, and we're not going to charge you a full price for it because it's not a massive game. Like, you're getting online multiplayer and a little bit of story. So this we're valuing it good.
Yo, straight up, dude, if you have the balls to sell a game like not at full price, especially a game that has the fucking Star Wars name stapled to it, that's you have all my respect in the world. And honestly, I think the fact that it's not full price is going to help it sell really well because, money's tight nowadays, and shit, $20 could be the difference between you picking up a fucking game or not. So
yeah, and I think it's kind of EA showing a little bit of like, all right, hey, we know we tried to gouge you for money last time. We're not going to do that here. Don't worry. And I kind of believe it in this case.
Yeah. I think, I don't know why. I think ever since Battlefront, I'm skeptical about Star Wars video games in general now. But I hope this. I want this to be good so fucking bad.
It looks good. I mean, it looks really fun. I mean, I like Fallen Order more than you did, but I see it as a good step as far as being able to do single player games, and I feel like Squadrons is a step in showing that they can still do multiplayer games. Because it's mainly, like I said, consisting of 5v5 dogfights. Does support VR on PC and PlayStation. Also supports crossplay across all platforms. So as long as the game is good, you should never have a problem finding a game or finding a lobby or whatever you want to call it anymore.
Yeah, so hopefully that's the case. I will happily play the shit out of Star Wars Squadrons.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably a good thing for our rigs too, to kind of run that smooth, because you want it's like first person cockpit game. Like, you want an experience on that.
I love a good look, dude. I'm a simple man, and when it comes to space games, if you let me sit in the fucking cockpit and fly around, I'm the happiest motherfucker in the world. That's why I like Elite Dangerous so much, because that's all that shit is. That's why I like No Man's Sky, because the space shit is all in cockpit. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. And they throw the Star Wars skin on it, and it's going to be cool. Story seems cool, kind of seeing things from both sides of the war. I always like the tales like that when it comes to the canon. Seeing some familiar characters from animation. Shout out to Hera. I know you haven't seen Rebels yet, but one of the main characters on there that did make it past, I guess, the Rebellion era going to the New Republic is in this game, and it's her first time being hyper realistic too. So it's got a lot of cool little things going for it for a really cool price for me. So I'm excited.
Yeah, same. And while we're on the topic of Star Wars, can we just say shout out season 2 of Mandalorian coming out in October?
Yep, this is the day, October 30th.
I love how they when I read it, I was like, oh, that's good.
Yeah, and then why didn't nobody ask for an F in the chat for that guy?
We get good Star Wars. They have good Star Wars puns, and all we have is fucking Big Yeetus.
I'll take what I can get, because I actually really like Big Yeetus.
That's a great fucking name.
Especially,
that's a great name that only works in Fall Guys. I think is the only time you can just name something called Big Yeetus, and everyone's just like, yeah, all right.
Not only that, but it only works in Fall Guys because of how they've ran their social media.
Oh, absolutely. And because of how they ran their social media, I was like, is this real?
This is probably the most interactive game I've ever seen. Even their charity contest, which is really cool, actually. I guess that's news. Was it Mr. Beast and Ninja teamed up to do
Ninja,
a $1 million donation?
Yeah, there's a couple of other companies that are involved in it too, I think.
Yeah, to do a joint donation to charity to get a skin in the game. So seeing that kind of level of contest held by them for a good cause that got a whole large community together, and while still providing content in the game too, really cool. So Fall Guys is not only like one of the most addicting and fun games, but also one of the most interactive, and you feel involved outside of just playing it too. So they got something special going on there.
Yeah, Fall Guys is an incredible game, and the only one where like I will just be so fucking obscenely mad at it, but still somehow be okay with it.
Yeah, exactly. And while not being toxic, unless you're playing with like Chris, I guess.
Man, fuck Fall Ball. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, Gamescom. We got so far Fall Guys Season 2, 12 minutes, Star Wars Squadrons. Those are my main three things. I'm excited for all three almost equally at this point, really.
Yeah, very sick lineup of stuff.
Yeah, and that's not including all the other games, which, as usual, I will talk about you now. Other games. All right, let's continue.
So a little bit more going on with Epic versus Apple. Not as much. I think now that it's really gotten into like the court shit, we're not going to hear really much, if at all, about it until like something actually happens.
Yeah, I think this might be our last update. I said that last week, but then they kind of snuck in a little backhanded jab there, which is pretty funny to think about now.
Did you see that the director of 1984 said something about all this?
No, did he? What did he say?
He was just like, I like the message and everything, but the delivery sucked. And I was like, okay.
I mean, what else could you have?
That's me paraphrasing, but
yeah, I mean, what else could you do? I mean, it was kind of the last chance to kind of get one in there. So, okay. So, Epic was it one of the main developers' accounts got straight up deleted, right?
No, the Epic account is straight up
not. The whole thing. Okay, I thought they were barred from doing that.
Well, they can't delete like Unreal Engine or anything that uses Unreal Engine, but Epic's like you can't download Infinity Blade or any of their old games like that anymore. Like the actual developer account on Apple,
it's still there. They just can't update it and like work on it at all on Apple.
No, it's not there. It's just not there.
Oh shit. Okay. Damn.
They got hit by big Yeetus.
Yeah, to say the least. It popped up out of nowhere on them. But the last Fortnite update on Apple, they literally dropped an like an outfit called Tart Tycoon, and it's literally just like a blacked out, kind of washed out suit whose head is a rotten apple.
Yeah, definitely no ill intent behind that whatsoever.
Not at all. But
it's just funny seeing I was like, damn, these are like big corporations, and this just got so petty. Like these are actual children fighting
with money. That's the other part. They're fighting with money. Real. Like somebody at Epic got paid to design this, and it was just a big old fuck you on while they were designing it.
Like, wow, these are two companies run by adults.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, cool. It's our last backhand. But now Apple devices no longer able to play with any kind of cross-play or anything like that with PC and console. Pretty much only iPhone, iPad, and a Mac. That's the only people you can play with right now, because they're all in the same update. That their big thing right now is the Marvel event, and they're not on that, and that's insane. Like, people are gonna get bored of just playing the same game.
I mean, people have been playing Fortnite for how long now? No matter how many Travis Scotts you put in there, it's still the same fucking game.
It's still the same game, but even then they changed up the map. They did a couple things here and there. If this never changes, it's just gonna be the same exact thing, like ongoing forever.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be a while till court proceedings happen. They said there was like a date for like court proceedings, but I didn't see what it was. But yeah,
until that happens.
Yeah, I guess RIP if you are an active Fortnite player on iPhone.
You're a monster in the first place, but still RIP.
Yeah, you should feel bad for doing that in the first place, but I mean, sorry, I guess.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of other platforms you can play Fortnite on, and I will talk about them now and call them other platforms.
I hate this.
You hate it because it's so effective. That's why.
Yeah, think I don't I don't like things being streamlined. Please make things as difficult as possible for me.
All right, so let's see. You got Stadia. We'll start there because that makes it difficult as fuck for you.
Let's move on. I don't want to talk about fucking Stadia.
Gotcha. Okay, let's streamline it. Go.
Resident Evil it's coming to Netflix. I'll watch that.
I'll watch it too.
Castlevania was fucking awesome. So I mean,
Castlevania was awesome. I think this is gonna be a live action.
Mila Jovovich.
Yes, the fourth kind herself. So, it's gonna be written by executive producer and co-showrunner of Supernatural, Andrew Dabb, who, okay, I have not watched Supernatural, but that dude's kept that show alive for like 11 seasons. Probably more by now. So, clearly he's doing something right. Here's one part that kind of made me think, oh, okay, we'll see how this plays out. It's being produced by the same studio that's behind the movies. So, here's the part. I don't know how much studio input is going to be on this. So, it could be different. I mean, granted, Into the Spider-Verse is the same studio that gave us Spider-Man 3. So,
it might just be an issue of they technically are producers because they probably own the film license to Resident Evil. Right.
So that might be exactly the kind of how it had to play out for this to happen. But also at the same time, it could just be the same. I don't know. I think
there's gonna be a Mila Jovovich cameo in there for sure, though. Like that has to be a thing they do, right?
It has to, but it's gonna be like a newspaper picture or like something in like the background that's like just a cameo of a cameo, essentially.
I've seen every single one of those movies.
Have you? I don't know when I dropped off.
Well, see, it got to the point with the Resident Evil movies, it became like the Saw movies at some point. I was like, well, I've seen all these other ones. Now I just have to watch these new ones that come out.
Yeah. When did I drop? I think I dropped off. Was it the prison? I think they were in the prison. I don't remember which one that was.
Fuck. It's like, fuck. That feels like half of those movies.
Yeah, that's true. I definitely didn't see how they wrapped them up. They actually did wrap them up, didn't they? Like, they actually put a bow on it and said this is the end of the movies.
I want to say at the end of like the most recent one that they kind of left it open for more, and I was like, you fucking kidding me? But I haven't seen it in so long. I think that's another like once I watched all the movies, I was like, I'm just gonna vault this in the back of my brain and not think about it until the day that I die when I reflect on the mistakes I've made in life.
So we'll save that for another episode of the pod. But
on my deathbed, just talking about fucking Resident Evil.
I want to say I think the first 2 episodes are going to be directed by the guy who like started off The Walking Dead to kind of set off on the right foot, which I really love how The Walking Dead started. So
yeah, as someone who fell off The Walking Dead after like the 5th season, I think the first season of that show is strong as fuck.
As someone that's cool. Still on The Walking Dead, I agree.
Are you actively watching that still?
I mean, as active as I'm watching my other shows, I'm always like 4 or 5 months behind, but yeah.
Oh man, okay, so I've been thinking of punishing myself and just starting because it's all on Netflix right now, at least up to the most current season. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm like, do I do this to myself from the beginning?
I do a recap and then just pick where you left off because some of the Negan stuff is actually really good.
Yeah, I hear the Negan arc is really good, and like I fell off like as soon as that shit was starting.
It's like, good, but it does drag until you get to him because you hear all the chatter from him, and like it's supposed to be building up, but it doesn't. It just kind of drags out a bit. But once he gets there,
are we past statute of limitations on older Walking Dead episodes?
Yeah, we're like 2 seasons past Negan, so past Prime Negan, I would say he's still there, but.
I fell off right before Glenn dies.
Okay, I'd watch the next season and then see how you feel. Because that's kind of right around there. They do like a time jump, and it's a different show now. Which I kind of think is better for the longevity. Because I mean, you kill off a lot of people, you got to do something new. Yeah. I'm hoping Resident Evil does something new with this and doesn't just stick to that over the top kind of movies that are very much a sign of their time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that was right around like the whole like Daredevil, Evanescence, like dark, over the top movies. And Resident Evil doesn't have to be that.
It's like the director of Resident Evil was like, I fucking love Underworld, and then just did that.
Yeah, pretty much. Especially with the casting. Holy shit, I never put that together. That like, holy shit. Yeah, that's exactly what he went for. Seems really interesting. They're doing 2 timelines on this, so I don't know if one's like a flashback and then one's a flash forward, and you see how they got there. I don't know, creative writing. But starts off, you got the Wesker children who are moving to New Raccoon City, and I guess they learned that their dad's like up to some shit. And then there's a second timeline way later on into the future where T-Virus is basically all over, and I'm guessing they're like 30s or somewhat trying to like survive. Q Robert Downey Jr. just going survive. Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, I'll watch it.
Yeah, that'd be a good pod episode. We're just gonna do a whole episode just reviewing the first season of Resident Evil. We'll do that for you. Don't know when, but we'll do it.
Yeah, at some point we'll do another spoiler cast, but it'll just be me talking about how I love the movie Underworld.
Yeah, and that One Atreyu song.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
it's a great song. I'm gonna listen to that when we're done.
I love it. I love it.
So normally this is the part where we would have talked about the fucking graphics cards, but
we did that.
We did that already. Yeah. Hey, those graphics cards are really fucking big.
Really big and for the future.
You're just shoving Big Yeetus himself into your computer.
Yeah, except with less damage. For the love of God, I hope there's less damage.
You know, there's going to be someone out there that just wants to get it regardless, and their rig is going to look like that fucking meme of like someone turning up the volume on like their iPod with the fucking volume thing shooting out of the fucking iPod.
That graphics card is going to be half the cost or half the weight of this thing.
It's just like, it's wild. Have you seen? Okay, so just last thing about these graphics cards. Have you seen the like super powerful, super expensive Corsair towers?
Yeah.
How they're basically just like a big. They kind of remind me of the Xbox Series X. It's like these big columns, basically.
Yeah. Like just.
It's like I feel like these graphics cards are just the size of that. So I'm just like, well, what do you do at that point? Like, you already spent like $3,500 on this fucking computer or more. Like.
And then you just throw this bad boy in there.
That realistically, those graphics cards looks like they don't fit in those towers.
It's basically like a whole tier of the tower. Like, I don't know how there's another way to put it. Like, it takes up the whole front to back. You're moving a fan around at least. You're rethinking your layout.
Yeah, I think that's the only like really negative thing I can see is like you got to play some fucking Jenga to get your shit the way that you want it.
But once you got it though, you're set.
Oh yeah, you're set for probably for fucking ever.
Probably the whole generation, to be honest, of console gaming.
Yeah,
which is, I think is gonna last like 6 to 8 years, to be honest.
Yeah. So that's cool. Maybe like once those cards maybe get like another big price drop, maybe then I upgrade. But for now, once I get that 2080 Super, I'll be set for. I think I'll still be set for honestly the whole generation.
I'd say you'll probably be set, and maybe you might notice a difference once they do their mid-generation, because they're probably going to do that again with like the
probably
Pro and whatever Series XX, whatever. Maybe that might be the first time you notice maybe something, but even then, that's not a big risk that you're running into.
Yeah, maybe I have to turn down my graphic settings from fuck you Ultra to only Omega Ultra or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're turning them from People's Elbow Rock to Fanny Pack Rock.
There is no bad era of rock.
No, it's still the rock, exactly.
Yeah, okay. I was like, where are you going with this? There's You can't shit on The Rock. Not on this fucking podcast.
Not on this pod.
So that's basically it for news. Again, light week compared to like other shit. I mean, it's so weird how there's straight up there's nothing going on.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised we were able to dig into this stuff as much as we did. Shout out to Gamescom.
Shout out Gamescom. Shout out Epic and Apple for continuing to be just a fucking train wreck.
And shout out Daisy Ridley, I guess.
Yo, yes, absolutely.
The Last Skywalker. Get over it, nerds.
So for the main event of our show, so recently we talked about like, you know, best games of each generation as we await the coming of the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, which as it turns out just has no games now, so you can still make Xbox has no games joke. Sorry, Halo Infinite. We decided to be negative Nancy's this week, and we now bring you the worst games that we have played, presented by Battletoads.
Yeah, so this is a segment that I like to call the worst of us. My mindset when you came up with this concept was I was like, okay, not every game is a masterpiece. Not every game is a disaster piece. But hell, these ones are.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely games that are like probably objectively bad that I still enjoy. Like, I know a lot of people shit on that old NES like Friday the 13th game.
Yeah.
And personally, like I literally grew up playing that game, so it just holds, like, obviously that game is shit. It fucking sucks. But it holds this special place in my soul that's just like, I like that game.
Yeah, and there's some that are like notoriously bad, but I kind of feel like, okay, like move on. Like E3, ET, not E3, Jesus Christ, ET on Atari. It's not meant to be a masterpiece.
No.
Like, yeah, we're past that at this point. We know what. Oh, if you weren't Pong, you were probably a bad game on the Atari. So I kind of thought, like, okay, these are the ones that are meant to be good, and people had faith in them, and unfortunately, they were not.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I always feel bad like railing on like video games for being bad, because like obviously people put in a lot of time,
Yeah,
money, and like effort into making these, but I don't know, man. Some of these are just fucking woo.
Yeah. I guess I'll just get started with the first one. That's really easy. Superman 64, the easiest target of them all, because
this is like the litmus test, you know. I think like if you're talking about bad games and when you compare them to each other, you're basically like, how does it stack up against Superman 64?
yeah, I'd say that's what the low bar doesn't go any lower, to be honest. It's just, it blows my mind, and like it had the coolest.
It is barely a game.
Yeah, barely a game. Maybe, I mean, I guess you could say maybe it was too ambitious for its time, because N64 had no like rendering and things like that.
I would not say that.
Yeah, and like that's being super generous just to like throw them a bone. It's not good.
Yeah, no. When I think of like people are like, oh, what's like the worst game of all? Because, you know, once people find out that you play video games, immediately they're just like, oh, you fucking, what's your favorite game? And you're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like when people see that you have tattoos that are like really normies about it, they're like, oh, fucking, did that hurt? I love pain. Like, they're really weird about it.
Yeah, and they're like, I love games. How do you game? I play Madden. And it's like, okay, yeah, I played Madden 2.
Yeah, for real.
I played Madden 2, but that's not where we're going here.
Yeah, so like when people are like, oh, what's like a really bad game? I think like the knee-jerk reaction is like, oh, Superman 64.
Yeah, without a doubt. They hold the crown on that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's like that's the poster boy. It's the poster boy for like bad games. It's what every game aspires to not be. Even though I feel like a lot of games on this list get pretty fucking close.
There's a few. I did you ever play Sonic Heroes?
Which one is that? I think I was confusing it with Sonic Forces earlier.
Yeah, so Sonic Forces is like the newer one. Sonic Heroes.
Is that the one where you're like a team of 3 and you like
Yes.
rotated between them? Okay.
Yes.
I have played that game then.
I remember I was coming off like a high, like loving Sonic Adventure 2, and then I played Sonic Adventure 2 before playing the first one. So like once DX came out on the GameCube, I was like, oh cool, a new Sonic one. Oh, you're teaming up. This is cool. Like you get to use everyone's advantage, swap out and then go. I thought it was like it'd be a cool combination of things. Rather like, you know, on Adventure 2, it's like, okay, here's the Knuckles level, here's the Tails one. It was like kind of like swap it on the fly. And it turns out, no, you're just going on a linear path, pressing forward. Didn't matter what you did. Controllers were janky. They were loose. You jump up, you're falling off the map. Yeah, no, game was just bad. They tried. It just was just bad.
Yeah, I feel like the concept of it is pretty good. I played that game admittedly when I was like a kid, so I probably liked it then, but when you're a kid, you're a fucking idiot and like, oh yeah, all video games are good. Especially when it was like the time of like rental. Like it when you rented a game and you had it for like a weekend or something, even if it was bad, you like forced yourself to like that shit.
Yeah, and I'll put it this way. I was a kid and I hated it then. That's how much I didn't like it. And I'm pretty sure the main stem was because at that point we were kind of getting games based off like report card and things like that, and I wasted mine on that. So I was like pissed off at myself more so.
Yeah, I feel that. Shout out to Big the Cat though, I guess.
Yeah, big is tight. Yeah, all he wants to do is just fish for frogs.
No, I can respect that.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Everyone else though.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them all. Sonic Heroes. Not good.
While we're on the Sonic kick, the infamous Sonic 06 comes to mind also.
Yeah, I guess that was probably like the follow-up to Sonic Heroes. Sonic went through a rough patch.
Yeah, well, someone said that Sonic is still in a rough patch that just can't get out of.
I mean, kinda. I mean, Sonic Mania was a very good game that's newer.
True.
3D Sonic has been, he's got some ups and downs. Have you ever seen the Twitter account, Things That Precede Unfortunate Events?
No.
It's literally that. Like, it's a screenshot, and it's just the moment before something unfortunate happens. And, like, it'll be like a meme, like, you know, the one where, like, the guy, like, licks his hand and, like slaps the shit out of the dude. It'll be like the moment where he licks his hand, and, like, you know what comes next. It posted a picture of the Sonic 2006 like start screen, and it just says press start because that was the moment before the unfortunate game.
Yeah, I played that game when it came out because I don't know why. Like I just had an infinite amount of faith in Sonic because I was just like a big Sonic Adventure 2 shill.
Right.
Because Sonic Adventure 2, honestly, not that great of a game, but still a fucking phenomenal game.
No, but I loved it.
Yeah, fucking dude, I would give me. If you want to take a lot of fucking money from me, just make the Chow Garden like a mobile game.
Oh man, that would freaking drain my wallet.
Yeah, I'd be fucking
racing chows, feeding them lions, finding the Phoenix.
Yeah, man, I'd be all about that shit. But yeah, Sonic 06 was just like, I get what they were trying to do. They were just like, we're gonna make this a traditional, like, make this a traditional Sonic game as we can, but 3D. And then they were like, well, we broke it, but here you go.
It doesn't translate fairly well 1-to-1, but we tried it.
And that game is just, buggy as all fuck too. Like, shit. Like, that was one of those games where I was just like, well, I rented this for a weekend.
Yeah, luckily I didn't really go too far into that game, so that's not one that I really jumped into. I'm kind of glad on that.
Papa bless.
Yeah, I didn't do Sonic Forces, and I heard that one's like lower okay to play. I don't know, 3D Sonic, man. 3D Sonic.
I mean, it can be done. I mean, the Sonic Adventure 1 and Sonic Adventure 2 are, I think, perfectly fine games.
Yeah, I think so.
But I don't know. It's just like after that, they were just like,
Let's do something different.
Yeah. Remember when Sonic had a sword?
Remember when Shadow had ARs? Oh no, they are SMGs.
Yo, straight up, that's like something when you put it down, I'm just like, if you put that on paper, I'd be like, tell me more.
Yeah, here's the sad part. They did tell him more, and then they said, do it.
Yeah, for real. And then the thing came out, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, that Shadow the Hedgehog game is just the furry version of Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus.
Dude, and I remember the whole time, like, I never played the Shadow game because I was like, isn't he dead?
I mean, yeah, in canon, I guess he should technically be dead after Adventure 2 because he's just fucking...
He sacrificed himself.
Big Yeetus shot him into space or whatever.
Yeah. And that's what, like, saved humanity. So,
yeah,
I was like, what the hell?
But it was very touching, but then edgy people were, like, brooding, and they were like, no, Shadow the Hedgehog must live.
The Dark Hedgehog of the 2000s.
Dude, what a fucking bleak time that was.
Yeah,
people were like searching their name plus the hedgehog on Google.
We've come a long way.
Have we?
Barely. But yeah.
Bro, Sonic's weird.
3D Sonic is weird. 2D is just 2D Sonic.
So wild that there was a time where fucking Sonic the Hedgehog and Mario were like competition.
Yeah. Now it's like, all right, we're going to throw you all together. You're going to play in the Olympics. You'll have fun. Go.
And it's funny because those games, while also not good, are better than like your average Sonic game. So
they are. And you know what? They make a fine addition at Dave & Buster's too.
Yeah, dude, I would kill to go to a fucking D&B right now.
I know, I miss it.
Just want to fucking play some skee ball and shit. It sucks that it's just so close to my house and I can't go because I don't want to get sick and die.
Yeah, thanks, COVID.
Even though I am considering going to a movie theater to see Tenet.
Less risk than Dave & Buster's.
Maybe just go to the Alamo Draft House and buy out the whole theater just so I feel comfortable.
Yeah, do that. And then play some bad games in the theater after the movie.
Speaking of bad games, this next one that you put in here, I don't know what the fuck it is.
So you told me you never heard of Stalin versus Martians?
I've heard of the name. I will not lie to you, but this is just something that eluded me, I suppose.
It's exactly what you think it is. Stalin versus Martians, but it's an RTS. And it plays
sure.
it plays like exactly like you think a bad RTS would play. And like I remember like seeing like, you know, like the Toy Story, like the three eyes, like the claw. Like that's what some of the Martians look like. Or like they're like Trojan horse. I don't remember exactly. I tried to black this one out of my mind until I started thinking about this. But I think it's on Steam now. I think it's been put over. So looking back at this game, I kind of just Googled it real quick to kind of get a refresher. And I guess they're making a sequel.
Sure, why not? The world isn't bad enough as it is.
Here's the best part. The sequel is called Stalin versus Martians 4. They're just jumping straight ahead.
What?
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
Did they just pull like a Naked Gun like 33 1/3 and now it's just like fucking...
Kinda. I mean, if Xbox can go to 360 then back to 1, sure. If iPhone can skip 9, sure. Stalin versus Martians. Now you can put those in that lineup. This prestigious lineup of continuity numbers.
Yeah, saying 33 and like talking about Naked Gun 33 and a third just reminded me of a game that people consider bad, but I think is one of my favorite games of my childhood. Remember fucking Clay Fighter?
Clay Fighter. Refresh me.
One of the people you play as is a snowman called Big Bad Mr. Frosty.
Oh yeah, and it had Ichabod and all that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yo, I fucking love Clay Fighter.
Didn't they try to like keep that going too?
They had Clay Fighter 1. I think there was like a second one. They had Clay Fighter 63 and a third. That's why Naked Gun made me think of it.
Yeah, there we go. Put that in that continuity.
But yeah, just a side note. Like, I know a lot of people think Clay Fighter. I've heard people say Clay Fighter is a bad game, but I fucking rode hard for Clay Fighter.
I mean, if you play it now, it probably ain't gonna be the same. So let's not play that.
Oh, dude, I want to play Clay Fighter like every fucking day. What are you talking about?
All right, fuck it. Put it on the Switch.
Dude, if they did, I'd be so fucking. I'd be so down.
You'd be the only person.
I'm all they need.
That's true. All they need is one. You're already paying for the service.
Yeah, you know, why not? When the N64 Virtual Console eventually comes around in the year 2030, just put fucking Clay Fighter on there.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about it again.
So next on the list is something that I experienced firsthand. That was original Final Fantasy XIV. Because I'm not sure if you knew about this, Keith. The Final Fantasy XIV that's out now is not the first version of Final Fantasy XIV.
I want to say I think I picked up something along the pipeline around that time that it was just a shit show. I'm not a Final Fantasy online person, so yeah. Tell me more.
So when it initially launched, it was just called Final Fantasy XIV. The version that's out now is Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. That's the base game for current 14. When, as I'm calling it, OG Final Fantasy XIV came out, it was like, it looked like shit. It ran like shit. The UI was straight up fucking horrendous. Like, this game was hated by virtually everyone. There was straight up like no end game. Everything was super convoluted. It was just like, no, it was the epitome of just like, this is how you don't do an MMO, especially if you're in a space that's competing with fucking World of Warcraft. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
and it was like a big move for them too, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy 11 was also an MMO. It's was by all intents and purposes very popular. People still fucking play Final Fantasy 11 today. I'm not sure why. That game is fucking shitty because when you die, you lose levels, which is, once that happened to me, I was like, oh, I'm never playing this again. But yeah, so it's like, I think they just tried to make another Final Fantasy 11 at first because I was like, you know, if it ain't broke, why fix it? Just make it look a little nicer. But it's just like,
they broke it more.
Yeah, it just wasn't fucking good, to the point where like Square had to be like, okay, we're straight up, we're not even gonna say we're updating the game, we're just, Big Yeetus is coming to Final Fantasy 14, and they straight up just said we're starting over.
Damn, that
like they put the game out and it was so bad they had to start over.
That's crazy. Like, especially for like what's essentially a live service game. That's what MMOs are.
Yeah, and like, I mean, obviously that wouldn't be seen, and something like that hasn't been seen since. I mean, you could say that like maybe Anthem is like the closest thing to that, because they're basically having to rebuild Anthem from the ground up because nobody fucking liked that game either. Right. But I think, well, the difference with Anthem though is like, there were still people that liked Anthem. The straight up fucking nobody, including myself, that bought in and played OG FF14 liked that shit. But I think the one cool thing about this is, unlike the other games that we're talking about here, is that Square was like, yo, we know we fucked up. Like, we own up to our mistake, to the point where they even made them deleting OG Final Fantasy 14 canon in Final Fantasy 14: A Realm Reborn.
Did they really? That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, they made it like, oh, the old like the world was ravaged and essentially almost went extinct because of like this huge fucking meteor that hit, and that meteor was just them taking Big Yeetus to OG FF14.
You know what? I kind of like that, to be honest. Like, if you're gonna do it,
I'll
find a way to make it serviceable. Like, don't treat your audience like they're stupid, even though they might be.
yeah. I mean, granted, yeah, like they fucked up bad, but if you're willing to acknowledge your mistake, like, hey, fucking respect from me.
Yeah, and then you probably won't see it happen like that again.
I mean, you'd hope not. I haven't played Anthem. That's why I didn't put. That's why it's not on this list here. But from what I hear about it, it's pretty similar to this.
I have a coworker who doesn't play too many like co-op or online games, and he's like, yeah, I mean, it's fine. I don't really play it too much. He's like, I enjoy it when I play it, but I don't really dig in too much. So I guess that's kind of where that game is at. It's fine.
Sure.
Yeah, that might be like the not looking into it optimistic perspective.
Yeah. So at least like I wanted to throw Final Fantasy 14 in there though, because like, yes, the game was fucking shit when it came out originally, but Square was like, yo, we hear you. They could have very easily just been like, okay, yeah, we'll fucking shut this game down and then that's it, move on to the next thing. But they were just like, no, we're gonna make this right.
Yeah.
So I wanted one tiny shred of positivity before we go into the rest of these games where there is none to be found
At all.
like this next one, Aliens Colonial Marines.
I just remember playing like the first 30 minutes of that and not being down.
The epitome of false advertising, I think.
See, and I didn't even see the advertising for it, and I just didn't like the game.
Really?
So, yeah. So, what happened with that?
So, this game was originally shown a few years before it came out at E3. And the E3 demo was one of the fucking that game was beautiful. Like, it looked fucking insanely good. And then it was like, it looked beautiful, like it was atmospheric. It looked fucking terrifying. I was like, okay, it's like Alien Isolation kind of, but you know, you're a Marine, so you have like more guns to your advantage. It's just like, this looks like the Alien game that like you want to play. Like, oh, you're finally gonna be the Sigourney Weaver equivalent. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, this is fucking what I want. And then it came out, and then it was the fucking game that you played. Like, that game looks like fucking shit.
Off.
Like, I watched, like, my homework for you is I want you to watch the OG Colonial Marines trailer, and you're gonna be like, what the fuck? And like, the thing was, like, that trailer was like very much like not gameplay at all. Like, it was very clearly highly edited, like to the point where it was just like they did all that work on that one clip, and then like the rest of the game was like, okay, fuck it. Like, the AI was fucking trash. The game was like super short. And then there was like a lot of controversy around it too, because this is a Gearbox game, so this is the makers of Borderlands. So there's all that shit with like Randy Pitchford coming out and trying to like save face on this, yeah. But there was just like, yeah, like I think everything around this game was a shit show, and like it was more than like just the game being bad too. It was just like so much bad press too. Because, like, a game being bad is, like, one thing. Like, yeah, Sonic 06 is clowned on for being, like, a bad fucking game because it's just a bad game. But Colonial Marines was advertised, and it looked like it was going to be one of the best games ever made.
And then it was just far from it.
Oh, absolutely. Like, it could not have been any further from that.
That's rough.
Yeah, so... this is like, I think this is partly why like I just get so skeptical about like games too. Like, I want games to be good, and then I'm just like, I don't know, man.
I'm watching the trailer right now, and it looks really cool.
Yeah, like, you see what I'm saying? There's like an atmosphere to it. Like, it looks like a good mix between like possible horror and like,
it looks like Aliens, like the second one.
Yeah, it looks like you're watching Aliens, and it's like, damn, I would love to play that because Aliens, fucking phenomenal movie. But then the actual game came out, and everyone was like, oh, this is not that.
Just seeing this trailer, seeing it look cool. And, like, Hearing what you're telling me is bumming me out.
It's awful, isn't it?
Yeah. Because this looks
Yep.
good. What do the comments say? One of the greatest trailers from the most disappointing games.
Yeah, that's really what it is. Like, it is just a game that's just so... that's one of those, it's so bad that it's upsetting.
Yeah.
Because it's like I got a taste of what I could have had. Especially with like a franchise like a beloved franchise like Aliens. Like, you want that shit to be good.
I think this actually was based off of like Aliens, like the second one, because that's like the logo that they used.
Yeah, so I don't know. Colonial Marines fucking sucks shit.
Shit suckers. No face huggers. Shit suckers here.
The most volatile alien breed. This other one is going to be a quickie. I think this is just one of those like disgusting mobile games. Dungeon Keeper Mobile. I don't know if you're familiar with the Dungeon Keeper franchise at all, Keith.
Not necessarily.
It's a management sim for PC. You basically just you make you play the villain. You have this evil dungeon that you're just trying to put a bunch of traps in and kill heroes that come in to make money to make your dungeon even more fucked up. It's a fun little loop, and then eventually came to mobile. And then they decided to fucking nickel and dime you for straight up everything in that game.
So in order to play it, essentially had to pour cash into it.
Yeah, it was one of those games where it's like you can only do a certain amount of things because you had energy, and then when you try to build stuff, like, oh, you want to build a new room? Cool, it's going to take 24 hours unless you want to drop money to make this faster.
Yeah, that sucks. Like, it basically, like Avengers Academy, kind of. How that ended up coming.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember how much I liked that Avengers Academy game too. Like at the beginning, and then the very much was just like to keep up, you had to just constantly spend mad fucking money.
Yeah.
I think that game shut down too.
Yeah, it's gone now. So it goes to show, you try to get more money, you end up getting less in the long run.
And they took a lot of my fucking money too. Well, not a lot, but they took some money.
A little bit, not gonna lie.
That's really all I have to say about Dungeon Keeper Mobile. It's just like, you know, just fucking disgusting business practices with that. I think it goes along with, like, there was a Final Fantasy game that came out for mobile called All the Bravest, where that one was basically the same thing. Like, oh yeah, it's like you fight all these battles with like your favorite characters, but if you want to unlock, say, like, so you'd be like generic characters, like, oh, here you have like a bunch of black mages and shit. But if you wanted to play it with Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII in your party, you could pay $1 for a chance to unlock him.
For a chance, you say?
Yeah, because it would just like give you a random character from like a randomly selected pool of them. So it's like, yeah, you would pay money to not even get the character that you wanted. And I think you get like dupes too. So like even if you kept putting money in, there was like no guarantee you'd get Cloud.
Yeah, that sucks.
And that's why I'm so wary about mobile games now, because they just, some of them really. That's why I like Flow. I think I paid like $3 for Flow, and I just get like free updates on that game forever now. I've been playing it for fucking 1,600 days, so.
Yeah, I think you got your money's worth on that one. That's a little bit different.
For sure. So we only got 2 games here left on this list before we wrap it up. The next one I have, I don't know if you played this one, Keith. I think this was out for PlayStation, maybe. Mortal Kombat Mythologies Sub-Zero.
Yeah, I actually played it on N64. And I remember,
that might have been what it was.
Yeah, and I remember thinking like, oh, this is cool. Like, solo Sub-Zero game, that'd be really cool. Like, obviously Mortal Kombat's got a cool story that they don't really flesh out side characters on. So this will be perfect. And then I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, Mortal Kombat turns out not a good side-scrolling game. Did you ever, I think this was on Super Nintendo. Did you ever play the Batman game that Midway put out?
Was that like the beat 'em up one?
Yeah, it was literally just Mortal Kombat, but Batman.
I think.
And like
maybe.
It's like the same concept as like Mortal Kombat Mythologies. It was like a digitized Batman. You had to like, it was like a side-scrolling beat 'em up game, and it was just bad.
Let me see. I'm looking it up right now.
I don't remember what it was called, but I just know that Midway, Midway's Batman or some shit. I don't know.
Let's see here. Midway's Batman. Battle of Midway City? No.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's see here. Midway Games. Batman. Arkham. Okay. Maybe that's it.
Yeah. It's just straight up a Mortal Kombat with a Batman skin, and then it's a side scroller.
Yeah, no, not that. This just literally just led me to the Arkham collection. So no, I probably have not played it.
Okay, well, anyway, back to Mortal Kombat Mythologies. Like, it's a good concept on paper. I think, like you said, like, oh yeah, expand on the story of an individual character in Mortal Kombat. Like, I think, it's a good idea. Like, yeah, it's a good idea on paper, and I don't think they execute it. Did you ever play Shaolin Monks?
Yes.
I think that's where they really fucking nailed it, because I really like that game.
Yeah, they kind of made it like you travel a bit more and things like that.
Yeah, they made it like an actual game. Like, funny how that works. But I think just like taking the Mortal Kombat thing, we're just like, okay, here now there's platforming and it's a beat 'em up now, and good luck. And it just ended up being a fucking garbage fire.
And you're only gonna remember the first level, just like Superman.
Oh yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, I don't think I ever made it past the first level of that either. And this is another game that I just like rented and was stuck with for a fucking weekend.
No, we owned this one. I think my brother had this one at the time.
Oh
yeah,
you spent money on that.
I think he also spent a report card on it, to be honest. So worse.
Oh no,
worse. He earned this game.
One of my favorite report card games that I took advantage of was I got the original Ape Escape from having a good report card.
Sick.
Now, let me tell you about a game that does not belong on this list. It's OG Ape Escape 1 and 2.
Which you just immortalized on it, didn't you?
I did get an Ape Escape tattoo the other day.
There it is, for the pod.
That's just not even for the pod, dude. That's just for me. I fucking love Ape Escape. I'm thinking about that shit right now. So the last game on this list, I think I figured we'd save a big old steamer for last. But I think this is one of the more high-profile bad games that has come out in recent memory. It's one that I did not actually have the displeasure of playing, but I feel like it was so widely talked about that I experienced everything that I needed to without actually having to play it. That's Duke Nukem Forever.
The most hyped up game for a long time, too.
It was like the most hyped up game that went through like the most, like probably straight up the worst development cycle of any game ever.
Worst development cycle and worst product to show for it, because it's just very bland, but trying not to be bland, I guess.
This game was in development for like 20 fucking years or something, wasn't it? Some dumb number like that.
Yeah, something stupid. And it got more and more hype. And looking back and thinking, how did we let that happen?
Yeah, I'm not sure how we let things get to that point, but we did, and all we have to show for it is Duke Nukem Forever. I mean, it tried to, like, I think there's a place for like the nostalgia game. Like, I think like a game that plays like an OG Duke Nukem game can work, but you have to do that shit so fucking right.
Do you remember? I think there was rumors at one point that like John Cena was going to star Duke Nukem in a movie.
Oh, I think I remember hearing that too. I think this game coming out basically destroyed any hope for anything Duke Nukem related in the future.
Yeah, I think so. Remember DFN?
I think it's for the best.
Remember that band?
I don't think so.
It was literally just a band, like a hardcore band. Well, hardcore Jason, I guess. DFN, which is just Duke fucking Nukem.
It sounds vaguely familiar. It sounds like something I'd put along the lines of X Gumby X.
Kind of. I mean, they were an actual band.
Oh, okay.
But still, yes.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I remember seeing like clips and videos of Duke Nukem Forever, and even like when that game came out, I just remember being like, damn, that just looks like it's gonna be fucking bad. And then like the fucking balls of that game to talk shit about Halo in game. Like, I'm not even like a big Halo fan, Like, I like Combat Evolved a lot. I like the OG Halo trilogy a good amount. I like Reach, and I'm definitely gonna play fucking Infinite when it comes out in 30 years. But damn, like I was like, you really thought you were gonna come for fucking Halo with your Duke Nukem game, huh?
Yeah, their hands are too short to box with God.
Yeah, I was just like, the audacity. I mean, I get it. I'm sure, like, if you've been in development for 1,000 years, you probably think you're doing something, but a game that changed hands that many times, thinking that it's going to be even remotely good, like, nah, dude, there's no way.
All without starting over, too.
Yeah, like, there's, like, disappointing games, and then there's, like, Duke Nukem Forever. Like, I don't think anyone gave enough of a shit about that game to be disappointed by it.
I think it was just the hype and the development story behind it. It's really what led to it. If it would just come out, it would have just gotten forgotten.
Yeah, I think a lot of it too was like, oh, this shit's finally coming out, huh? Like, okay, right. Let's see what this is all about. And then it came out, and you were like, oh. So they just tried to make a Duke Nukem game in 2000 whatever.
And not really change the entire aesthetic of it.
Duke Nukem Forever is the coronavirus of video gaming.
Yep, and it's still here, still lingering around.
Actually, I take that back. I think it's probably Battletoads.
Oh, man, I forgot about to do that. Dang it.
It's funny that as bad as all these games are, I think Battletoads is still just worse overall. It's no Superman 64, but I'm still real, like, I haven't been like upset about a game since like this upset about a game, I think. Like I didn't even pay money for it. I downloaded that shit on Game Pass.
I guess I'll find out how I feel next week.
Yeah, I expect a full review of Battletoads. Hell, I'll play it with you. It's co-op.
Oh shit.
We can
that might make it fun.
Yeah, fun of just us fucking
shitting on
it nonstop. Maybe that's the pod next week. We just live play Battletoads. Or maybe that's YouTube content.
Maybe. If that's the case, then I should wait till I get the rig then, so I have something that can record.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. That I'll let you put off Battletoads for now.
Oh, thank God.
You have bought at least a couple of weeks of time.
Yeah, considering that is the first commitment to this new rig. That's my test.
Yeah, if your rig can run Battletoads, it can run anything. Yeah, man, I got this fat new graphics card that's the size of my house. Oh, that's sick, man. What are you playing on it? Fucking Battletoads.
Oh man, that's where this is headed.
Yeah, I think it's actually going to do it for the pod this week. Surprisingly, a longer episode than I thought it was going to be.
As always. You did say make it more complicated for you.
Yeah, if there is one thing you can count on, it is us derailing everything that we talk about. Which, I mean, I guess is good for everybody involved. You get more content, and I get to kick off about things.
Yeah, and our listener is happy.
We have several now. Don't you insult our base.
So there's at least 7.
At least. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. This has been episode 28 of the Minigames podcast. Keith, where can people find you on the internet?
Fuck you, Chris.
There it is.
That's all I got.
But where can people find you on the internet?
Oh, I actually have to do it. Dang it. I just want to say fuck you, Chris.
Oh, that's fine. You can find him at woo_Keith on things.
With an H. Fuck you, Chris.
You can find me on the internet, Twitter, BadXHealth, Instagram, You Broke Like Glass. Yeah, the spelling. You can find us collectively as Minigames on Twitter at MinigamesCast and on Instagram also at MinigamesCast. And now you can find us on YouTube. We don't have an actual URL yet because you need 100 subscribers to do that. But just search Minigames Cast. There's a space in between Minigames and Cast on YouTube, and you'll find us there. We are uploading full podcast episodes there once they're done, so you have an extra place to listen to it at. And Keith, in all of his video editing, is putting up short little clips on there. There's one from when we pitched our Halo TV series, and that was a fun time for all. And the video for that's actually very good. Keith did a very good job on it.
I'm trying.
He is trying, and he is succeeding. But yeah, we're excited to be putting out more stuff in more places. Check back in next week for
more
progress on Keith's computer or something, maybe. You can hear me talk about how I'm progressing after my traumatizing Battletoads experience. And hopefully by next week, Big Yeetus has not come for us all yet.
Fuck it. End it. Eat us. Eat us, Yeetus.
Yes, please yeet us off this planet. But yeah, this is, again, episode 28 of the Minigames podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Big Yeetus out.